Good day, friends. At the end of the war, the vast majority of German tanks were sent to the front painted in red. Such a revelation may sound strange. And even today, it's not easy for many to guess why the German command made such a decision. Let's figure out what happened to the characteristic gray paint of Wehrmacht combat vehicles by 1945, and find out whether tanks in this color really went into battle. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Everyone knows from photographs of the Second World War, as well as from countless works of art, that German tanks of that period were painted in the iconic gray color. In reality, this was not entirely true. Tanks painted gray were only those used in combat operations in Europe. Vehicles fighting in Africa, for example, were painted in sand colors. Moreover, from 1942 onward, vehicles on the Eastern Front were painted in green or dirty camouflage. The reason was simple: against green landscapes, gray tanks stood out too much. But by the end of the war, tanks began leaving German factories painted red. Strictly speaking, they were covered in red lead primer. So why was this done, and what happened to the Wehrmacht's distinctive combat camouflage? The truth is that the red-colored tanks that have survived to this day, or that appear in old photos, were simply left unpainted. In 1944 and 1945, Allied aviation carried out relentless bombings of Germany's industrial complex. These air raids disrupted production and destroyed warehouses of paint supplies, along with the factories that produced them. As a result, by 1945 Germany was lacking not only gunpowder, aluminum and steel, but even something as basic as paint. Unlike at the beginning of the war, tanks rolled off the assembly line in primer only and were sent directly to the front. In most cases, crews painted the tanks themselves in their units. However, toward the very end of the war, uncamouflaged tanks could be seen in combat as well. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video interesting, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to give it a like.